that was... Ugh. If you're a business owner and you can look me straight in the eye and you tell me you don't have a budget, you don't know how much money you're making, and you feel fine about it, either you're lying or you got a really great team behind you. Congratulations, you should pat yourself back on that one. Because I would not be able to sleep at night if I was you.
Yeah, like in Word.
Let's talk about business budgeting so that your budget can help you grow your business and your budget gets bigger. Welcome back to NGMI. Handshake? The show where we talk about business lessons that we're learning along the way as we build our very real accounting business at Marlowe. And we're talking about these business lessons that we're learning so that you can learn too as you're building your own business. So that you're learning, hit that like button and bling, ding that notification bell. Did you hear that? Bling! Just subscribe, okay? Every business needs a budget. And one of the best ways to build a successful business that doesn't stress you out, that doesn't keep you up at night, that you can eventually sell, that is actually profitable, that will actually continue to make you money even long after you're gone and your family takes over. Every business needs a budget if they want to accomplish those things. What is a budget and why do I need one, Jeremy? You asked that. I heard it through the screen. You said it. A budget is a plan you write down to decide how you will spend your money each month. Budget helps you make sure you will have enough money every month, and without a budget, you might run out of money. Hard-hitting words from the government.
Bing, bing, bong, bong.
Unless you're a libertarian. At the core of everything, a budget is just a tool. A tool to help you understand your business better and to help you make better decisions and, not lose sleep at night, because that happens to a lot of people, unfortunately. Now, as we've talked about previously in a previous video, budgeting is always wrong. And the reason that a budget is always wrong is you can decide that you're going to spend your money in a certain way, but it doesn't always play out the way that you hope it to. Your business changes. You lose customers, you gain customers, you spend more money than you thought, your rent goes up, you have insurance expenses that you didn't realize you had to pay before, you have to buy inventory, whatever it might be. Everything changes from month to month. It's always constantly changing, which is why your budget needs to change and adapt as well. There are 3 things that you need to identify in order to actually build a successful business budget, and 2 of them are directly related to one another. A very, very, very basic business budget. You need to identify 3 things. You need to identify your income, your fixed expenses, and your variable expenses. Now, in order to create your budget, you need to identify income. What is income? It's money that comes into the business. Lots of people talk about businesses in terms of the value of income that they're receiving every single year. So you know that someone has $1 million business if their business is billing $1 million a year. And this can be kind of misleading when we're talking about the value of a business, because when we see income, we see a large number, but then there are lots of related expenses that go into that. But understanding how much income your business is making and actually where that income is coming from, it's helpful to identify.
That was a pun, by the way.
Because you can then calculate how much money you're going to make each month and know how much then you can spend. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much income you're making, it's more about how much income you're keeping. Listing out your income into the various different sources can actually help you identify what's actually working for your business. What service are you providing that's actually a high value to the rest of your customers, and what is not, what needs to be let go. So for example, with our accounting company, we have 4 different income streams. We have onboarding, we have payroll, we have contracting, and we have our bookkeeping income. By breaking these 4 different things out, we can actually see how much money is coming in for each one. We can see where we're actually profitable compared to the others, and we can know what's taking the most of our time in relation to the amount that we're billing. And then of course, after we understand how much income we're making, we can transition to figuring out what our expenses are. Now, when it comes to expenses, there are two types that many businesses deal with that I like to think of as either fixed or variable. So your business probably has many different types of fixed expenses. Things like your software that you pay for every single month, your email, your office supplies, your rent, your utilities, maybe your payroll, whatever else might be fixed that happens every single month without fail and is generally a steady or average expense. See, by identifying those fixed expenses, we can actually understand how much our business needs to just simply pay the bills, how much it needs to simply exist. If I have $200,000 of cash in the bank and my fixed expenses are typically $50,000 a month, I know that I have 4 months of runway in order to run my business without making any money because my expenses are fixed. Now you may be saying, Jeremy, not all of my expenses are fixed. Oh, I know. And that, my friend, is where variable expenses come into play. They change constantly, all of the time, depending on the month, depending on the amount of revenue, whatever it might be that you're selling, variable expenses come into play. Variable expenses are typically costs directly associated with the products or service that you're selling. These are things that we typically as accountants think of as cost of goods sold.
Totally unrelated meme break. Totally unrelated meme break.
Think of it this way, if I am manufacturing a t-shirt, I need to pay money to a manufacturer in order to create a quantity of t-shirts that I can then sell. Let's say that I order 100 t-shirts at $5 a shirt. That's a pretty expensive t-shirt to sell. I need to pay the supplier $500 in order to actually get any product to sell. I can then sell those t-shirts once I receive them, and I mark them up based on the amount of money that I've spent with my supplier. Let's say I charge $35 a shirt, I sell 100 of them, I've just made $3,500. Now, minus my $500 in variable costs, or the cost of goods, I have $3,000 left over to pay for all of my other business expenses. And you can imagine that as my business grows or as demand grows, I need to order higher and higher quantities of the t-shirts that I'm selling in order to actually supply those t-shirts to my customers who are just raving about how fantastic these $35 t-shirts are. As our income goes up, so do our variable expenses. In the end, if we can identify how much money we're bringing in terms of sales at the end of a month, and then pair that with what our variable expenses were, or our costs to supply the product or service that we're giving to people, and then subtract finally our fixed expenses from the remaining amount of money that we have. And that is the financial statement that most accountants will refer to as a profit and loss or an income statement. It's simply stating how much money you brought in and then how much money you spent and what's left over. No matter what kind of business you are, a P&L can really help you shape the understanding of your business financially. With a really excellent budget, you can see trends in the course of each month that you're going through. When your variable expenses are especially high, when they're especially low, or when your income fluctuates just the same. Because if you can see how much money you've made in the past and where your expenses are and what you're spending, you can then make decisions about where to put your money in the future. You can create sales goals about how much money you need to bring in or how much you want to bring in accordance with the number of expenses that you have currently in your business. You can really truly understand how to optimize your business in order to create more profit, in order to reinvest into the business and grow and sustain something big. This kind of financial insight, this business intelligence, it can only help you run your business better. There is no downside to understanding what's actually going on inside of your business if you take the time to do so. You need to be working with an accountant or financial coach or bookkeeper in order to help you understand this side of the business. The entire reason behind working with any kind of financial service provider, whether it's a financial coach, a bookkeeper, an accountant, is to help you understand your business, to give you that confidence and clarity and to identify the story that you're telling along the way so that you can make decisions about whether or not you want to grow your business or just keep things steady. And we've seen massive changes in people's level of stress, their confidence, their clarity about what's going on inside of their business when they go from not looking at anything financial, not wanting to even peek at it, to actually seeking out and understanding what's happening inside of their business. The change is amazing. And I will see you next time on another exciting episode of NGMI. Goodbye. Bring it around town. I will see you next time on another exciting episode of the Marlowe SpongeBob